another Gray Magnolias episode. So this one is going to be review slash read along. In my last video, I'll post it up here in the cards. I shared my library haul slash my TBR for the month of September, and I might have to get more books because I checked out 7 books and I'm on my 4th book. So I have 3 left. I think bigger reads than what I've been reading because I mean, maybe some of them are about the same page length, but they're a lot more in depth, and they're each the start of a series, like I mentioned. I'm anticipating, not like expecting to, but like I'm willing to DNF if like I don't like it, because life's too short. You know, there's so many books I want to read, and so we'll see what happens. Even though I really do want to start another series to consume me, because I miss reading The Others by Anne Bishop. I won't ever stop talking about that book series. That was one of the best reads I've read in a very long time. It's up there. It's some of my favorites. Love the characters, the world building. I will also, I mean, you can find it on my page. So I finished How to Love a Duke in 10 Days by Kerrigan Bryan. And then I jumped right into the Bareknuckle Bastard series, and I devoured, if I didn't have other adult responsibilities and a child to take care of, and, you know, husband to like cook for and all that stuff, I would have, you know, gotten rid of all my earthly needs to just like finish this in like a day. But I finished it in like a day and a half, so that's okay. But yeah, so I finished Wicked and the Wallflower, which introduces the world of Covent Garden, the Bareknuckle Bastards. Devil, our main female character, is a Felicity Faircloth, right? Felicity Faircloth, yeah. So she's kind of, like as it says, a wallflower, but she wasn't a wallflower to begin with when she entered into her season. All these characters are older, which is a nice change of pace from other historical romances I've read. So they're like, yeah, everyone's either in their late 20s and the men are in their 30s or like early 30s. So it was refreshing in that sense, you know, they weren't too naive in a different sense. So she was part of society. She was like well loved, like everyone wanted to be with her, but then something happened and the group that she was a part of like outcasted her, creating her into like a wallflower. Like no one wanted anything to do with her, and that really upset her because she wanted that life, she wanted this. And Devil comes across her as she's picking locks, which is a very significant part of the story, and he's like instantly intrigued, instantly like taken. And it's like, I mean, he uses her to get vengeance on his brother who came into the light when he wasn't supposed to. So it's just their journey of her like, I want to be a moth to the, like, I want to be she wants to be a flame, and she wants the moth to come to her and burn, and they have to end up burning together. So amazing. Great female character. She's not my favorite, but she had like this wit about her. The banter between both of them, like her determination to get what she wanted, was very refreshing. Instead of like, you know, like damsel in distress too much, like she took, you know, it by the reins. And even though he, you know, wrongs her and like uses her and stuff like that, she's like, no, damn it, you're gonna love me. Really good. I highly recommend. I love the world of, it's like the underbelly of London and Covent Garden and like smugglers, and I read it with the audiobook, and I'm filming on my phone, so I forget who. I'll put it here. The narrator is, she's excellent. Mary J. Wells is like my #1 favorite. I'm sure she does a lot of things, but she's Lisa Kleypas is, I feel like, #1 option to like narrate. If she's able to choose that, I'm not sure, but thinking about it like makes me blush because she's so good. Mary J. Wells is so good at turning into her voice like to the male character. There is reasons why I reread in the Ravenel series. I reread Winterborn and Devil in Spring 3 times a piece. There's reasons, okay? So, but again, I'll put here, she was really good too. She did excellent. And it's like, since they're kind of like Devil, he gets like this like garden accent, which is like a lot rougher, and like I highly recommend this one. I recommend the whole series. Like, I have not read a single bad book from Sarah McLean yet. Actually, I take that back. I have to read it again because I was kind of utterly disappointed by the male character's voice, which is, he was American. It's just like boring. I think it's called Bombshell. Yeah, I tried listening to it. Yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, yeah, I wanted an accent. Not an American one, and honestly not that good, so maybe I'll just read it, because I'd be surprised if she writes a bad book, honestly. Brazen and the Beast, which is, between the 2 that I read, my favorite. We have Lady Henrietta, who's trying to take her life, her year of being herself, of body, mind, business, future. You know, she wants to let go of the infliction of virginity, if you want to put it like that, and she goes to this brothel. But in between that, before she gets there, she runs into Beast, who is Devil's brother, and he's tied up in her carriage, and she's like, this will not do. So she goes ahead, you know, unties him, she boldly kisses him, and she kicks him out of the carriage. And from there, it is glorious. I'm like blushing just remembering. But he's the silent type, he's the violent type, he's the Knuckles of the Bare Knuckle Bastards. And he's like protective and just dangerous, and everyone fears his name, the Beast. And but Hattie's like, I'm not scared of you. Like, you should be scared of me. And it's like this back and forth of like challenges and like finding them on their like turfs, because she's of the Tawn, but she's like, again, kind of like a reject. Like, she's too busty, too big, too plain, too like, you know, like she's just like a good old Hattie, because I mean her name's Harrietta, and her brother's gotten her whole family business into a pickle, which they run like a shipping thing. So she's trying, like, that's what she wants, the business. She wants independence. She wants what a man is easily given, but a woman can't get during this time period. So, but, like, it's so good. Like, you just get a little bit of more in depth of what the Bare Knuckle Bastards went through. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to give it away. It's not, like, super secret, but them being bastards is very significant to the whole story. But he thinks he's not good enough. He can't protect. It's just, and she's like, no, like, you don't, and like the whole thing is like, no, you don't have to protect me. We can protect each other. I can be alongside you. I can be your equal, all this stuff. And it's just like, it's beautiful. And like, he teaches her the ways of passion, and it's just like amazing. And like, you know, these aren't, as they are spicy, there's a solid, I think in each book, there's a solid like 3 scenes. There's kind of like a before scene of like maybe it's a second base, third-ish, you know, not home run, if you know what I mean. And then there's 2 like then scenes of like the dude. So like I would say spice level, it's a 2. Like, it's there, it's in your face, but it's not like the whole plot. Like, it's more of just them, the banter back and forth, the conflict of this third brother is trying to attack them again, and he's like, no, I need to protect you. And she's like, no, you don't need to protect me. We can like do it together. And it was beautiful. It's beautiful, a really good epilogue. And like, what's, you know, he's called the Beast, but he's like beautiful. Like, he's tall, dark, and handsome. Like, I'm saying like so many times, but excellent. So this was my second time reading both of these, and honestly, it was slightly even better than the first time, which, you know, it's kind of like, what book would you want to read first for the first time again? I'll happily read these a third time in the future as like just kind of a comfort read. I probably wouldn't read it with the book. I probably would just listen to it. Now I am going to read, which when I first read these, I was like, my God, I gotta read the third one. And then I don't know what happened. Life, or I just didn't feel like reading, or wasn't available. One of the others, I mean, this came out a while ago. Oh, maybe it wasn't out yet, because this came out in 20, maybe that's what it was. This wasn't out yet. Okay, I have really high hopes for this. We'll see. But I'm okay to be disappointed, I guess, so to speak. But this one follows the last brother, who is the Duke, and their sister, not by blood or anything like that, but more by like experience or situations, I guess you could say, and their story of their like revenge and like betrayal. And just, I think I might cry with this one, because it was, you know, like, it's gonna be tough. So we'll see. The only thing I am, even before I read it, like, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but this brother, Duke of Marwick, I'm pretty sure they described him blonde, but like the person that they picked for the setback is not blonde. So I don't know. I could have sworn, but I could be wrong. So, and Grace, she is kind of like, so if there's a triangle tier, Grace is the top. She's the badass. She is like the head of the Bare Knuckle Bastards, pretty much. So this is her story. I'm really excited. I'm going to film myself. Like, I'll check in when I can remember. It seems a lot. It's a smidge shorter than the other 2, but we'll see. So I'm gonna film myself like here and there, kind of checking in and just reacting. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, I'm on chapter, I'm screaming already. So this story follows 3 bastard brothers and Duke, placeholder as women. If that makes any sense. Probably not. So, I mean, I guess I can, I mean, it's not spoiling because it's like mentioned in every book, but the Duke of Marwick wanted an heir. So 3 boys were born on the same day at the same time by different women of different backgrounds. A courtesan from a brothel, and I forget the other one. Bookmark. I don't know where it is. So, and then there was a child, I'm putting you on mine, and then there was a 4th born of the Duchess, but she was a bastard herself, and not of the Duke, and it's obviously a female, so you know how that goes. Back in the day, that's a no-go. So they've all been brought by the Duke back to his estates, and they're 12, and he's literally having the three boys fight for dukedom. It's horrible, it's heartbreaking. You hear each of Devil's story, Beast's story, and all this stuff. But the third brother, Ewan, betrayed all of them, Devil, Beast, and Grace, which is the girl and like the girl of the group. Yeah, he took the dukedom, and he betrayed them and stayed and took all of it. I think we're gonna obviously find out why he did that, because their father was a nasty piece of shit, put it lightly. And since Devil, Beast, and Grace ran away and became their own kings and queens of Covent Garden, he's been hunting and looking for her over, but they've kept her hidden. She's changed her identity and all this stuff. So now, I guess this is maybe spoiler warning. I'll put it here. Spoiler warning. I don't know if it was Devil or Beast, but no, it was Devil. In book one, he told them, and not so many, not like she's gone, but he took into his own, interpretation that she was dead, but she's not. She was there. She just kind of hid. And so that devastated him. Now he's like out for vengeance, and he's like besotted, like just gone crazy for this woman. In book two, he again takes vengeance on Beast for like, you guys didn't watch over her, you didn't take care of her, you lost her, and tries to hurt Hattie, and in the process hurts himself, of like then kind of like saving Hattie in the process from this explosion that happens. Again, sorry, spoiler, but even with like the spoilers, you just have to read through it because it's just beautiful. He at the end of book two, he's hurt, and Grace and imprisons his ass because she wants her vengeance as well. She wants to end this feud, this torment once and for all. And she's like the queen of Covent Garden. She has this brothel where women take charge and they can take their pleasure however means necessary, instead of women being a part of the brothel and then men come and whatever, or women. It's the women who are mysterious and kept their identity kept secret, and it's the men that provide the pleasure, and women gets whatever they want, which I love. Like, they have a choice. So she's very about that. Deep in her secret dark rooms, she's been hiding, and he's just realized that she is alive, and she wants to beat his ass. So she has him on his knees, and she's rapping her knuckles because she's about to beat him up. I hear you tore my door off the wall. And then he says, I brought London to his knees searching for you. You think a door could keep me away? And then he lifts his chin, is on his knees, bounded, and he says, I'm looking at you, love, so I don't feel kept from you at all. No, she says, sorry. Rewind. So she's like, you think a door could keep me away? And she says, and yet here you are, on your knees, in italics. So it seems something has you for me after all. And then he says, I'm looking at you, love, so I don't feel kept from you at all. Oh my god, this book's gonna be crazy. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how, like, she just kind of keep him locked up and just torturing him every now and then, and he just takes it willingly, like, I deserve it as long as you get to touch me like this. I don't know. But I didn't say this, I know the first part of this video is kind of like my review of the first two, but I totally forgot, in this one there is a bondage, but with him, like, he's bonded, and she kind of like takes what she wants from him, which was very like liberating and just beautiful. Like, he's just like this, because it's just like this really, I know a lot of people don't like the whole alpha thing, but he is like, he's like beastly and just like dark and like protector and all this stuff, and he like make me vulnerable, like take me. So I just love that. But yeah, I am screaming. I know, as he was laying injured and she like couldn't resist touching him because she's like, she hasn't seen him for 20 years or whatever, he was like, I know you touched me. And she says, not me. It was you. You think I would forget your touch? You think I would know it? I wouldn't know it in the darkness. I would know it in battle. I would walk through fire for it. I would know it on the road to hell. I would know it in hell, which is where I've been aching for it every day since you left. Continue to read, and I read more like different things. It's all about the layers and development of the relationship that make it so exquisitely amazing. Like, they haven't even kissed, and I am like bursting with anticipation. They're in the ring now, and they're gonna like, I don't know if they're actually gonna fight, and he's gonna punch her, and she's gonna beat his ass, so we'll see. I'm on chapter 9. I'm gonna stop here. I need to, if not, I'm gonna read all day, and I'm starving. But oh my god. So we ended with, she beat him up, and she's like, get the hell, I never want to see your face again. A year has passed. And she's like minding her business, and she hears about this masquerade ball that's about to happen. And she's like, okay, whatever. And they're like, oh my god, yeah, this Duke. And she's like, what the hell, the Duke, he's back. He's not supposed to be back. And he's back. He is back. and she's like, give me an invitation to that ball so I can see what he's doing, because he's not supposed to marry, he's not supposed to have kids, the dukedom line is supposed to end with him. So she goes to the ball, and he's created her favorite place that she had with him back on the estate of the dukedom estate. It's whimsical trees, moss, and like garden like, and it's a masquerade, obviously. And she runs into him, and he's like all cool and collected. He's like super happy now instead of like this depressed person like last year. And she's like, oh yeah, he doesn't recognize me at all. Like, I got this. I'm in and out. I'm just gonna investigate. And then on chapter 9, it starts with, he knew it was her the moment she stepped into the ballroom. Oh my goodness. Okay, this one's gonna be really, really good. I'm so excited. But yes, I'm going to take a break. I'm famished, but I look forward to finishing this probably today, honestly, because it's so good. I'm back. I think I filmed 2 days ago now. I've lost track of time, honestly. Finished it last night, and let me tell you, my heart, it was beautiful. So I left off that he threw this whole masquerade ball for her, and from there it's just this, like, I don't know how many scenes of groveling there was, but it was beautiful, just them kind of like letting go of their old selves and loving each other like who they are now, and like mending that treacherous past. And it was just, he was like, I've never read a male main character so, I'm on my knees for you, like, what do you want? I will give it to you, you're everything to me. All the lengths he was willing to go to, like, my penance, what is my penance? I will do anything and everything. I mean, he got beat up in the docks, he hauled ice with no proper equipment, and just was on his knees for her. It was just because he was like, okay, I've chased you for 20 years. Okay, and it's like he took this time to change, and he's like, it's time for you to come to me, because he's like, what do you want, what do you need? And she's like, I don't know. He's like, when you know, come find me. And they kept having these moments of like, okay, just tonight, just this fantasy and everything. And I didn't like, I marked a couple places, except one I don't know what I marked. I think maybe that down in the docks, hauling ice without proper equipment, and Grace was watching down on him, and his heart pounded and his chest broadened. He wanted to show her what he was still able to do, kind of like puffing his chest out, which was amazing. And then just like his frustration of, not fully understanding what exactly he gave up and why he betrayed them. Kind of a pretty obvious, but like everything he he was isolated, alone. He let them go to protect them, pretty much. I don't know if I explained it. So all of them were fighting for this dukedom of this evil, corrupt, nasty father. He was the one to win at the end. He was always the one to win, not the other ones and all that stuff. Not Grace, who's a placeholder because she was born female and all that stuff. She was born a woman. Sorry. So it was just like gut-wrenching, and just the constant, like, he was never gonna give up, but just that, like, no, I need to do this for her. What can I do for her? Like, she's my queen. Like, this one line he says, he's like, you are my queen and I am your throne. Like, what? Amazing. So this little bit I want to share. Oh, did I put something here too? So this one part was, what if you cannot claim my fight without claiming me? She couldn't breathe for the images and words wrought, for the memories that came with them. She didn't want it. She didn't want the whispers of their past. She didn't want the confusion of the present. She didn't want the taste of him on her lips, of the memory of the way he unraveled over this touch in his mouth. And it goes, are you gonna eat that? And she's like, what? He nodded between them. She followed the line of his attention to the scone she still had in her hand, half eaten. The cake, do you intend to eat it? She clasped it to her breast. Are you asking to what be a pity for it to go to waste? Are you deprived of sweets, Duke? And he was like, yes. His voice suddenly low and dark. Christ, yes. I've had a lifetime of treat deprivation. My goodness, there's so much. I most definitely want to buy these, and like when I do a reread again, because this is most definitely rereadable in my opinion. I will highlight the ever living shit out of it, which I did for other Sarah McLean book that I've mentioned several times. And the thing is so, I think it's so read through and highlighted and written on, it's ridiculous. I will cherish it. So yeah, they go through a lot, just like this back and forth of her like, no, he betrayed me, he hurt me, and him just showing every which way that like I want to be a part of your world. I want to be by your side. You the queen, I the king. Like I want to protect what you've created. I want to be there, make new memories. Yeah, again, so amazing. So I have another spot that I did. Okay, so this is like towards the end. And again, he says, "You are a queen, I am your throne." Like she remembers those words and he rests his forehead to her and whispers, "I don't want to be your grace ever again. All I want is for you to be my grace," which is her name, you know. He kissed her again. It's always been you. Every day, every night, every minute since the beginning. This is the sum of my ambition. This is the sum of my ambition to be worthy of you, of your love, of your world, to stand by your side and change it. I mean, his kind of, when she finally comes to, because she does have like a little, like, honestly, like silly moment where she's like, "You did this." Well, after she just like, "I love you," and I've like, she like realized she fell in love with him all over again, which I felt like was a little like unnecessary, but it worked out in the end. And so, and then the epilogue for this was beautiful. It was like years later, and I won't spoil it, but it's really nice. So yeah, I highly recommend. Little one's awake. I highly recommend this book series. I can't recommend it enough. It is so well written. The men and like their like they're all damaged and their struggle and like them going through that process of realizing like they deserve love and they deserve hope again after everything they went through. And the women are so strong and badass. It is amazing. I loved every bit of it. I wouldn't change it any other way. I highly recommend it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was cohesive enough. But yeah, let me know if you've read it, if you're gonna read it, how many times have you read it, who's your favorite bastard, and yeah, leave a like and comment down below. I'll be happy to hear. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.